Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome to a new video. In this one, it's going to be all about training for strength and hypertrophy. So this is the first part of the beginner's guide. It's probably going to have 2 or 3 parts to it. This one's going to be all about the training. And just some disclaimers really quick. So in this video, we're talking about strength of muscles and the size of them. That's it. I'm not going to be teaching you how to get more athletic. I'm not going to be teaching you how to run a marathon. These are just for the people that want to go in the gym, make their muscles look bigger, and get stronger. You might get some more athletic ability. You might get a little bit better at running somehow, especially for you beginners. But that is not the main focus of what I'm teaching you here today. When I say beginners, I'm saying people that have been to the gym once or twice, maybe with a friend, or people who have never been to the gym, never lifted a weight in their life, and they want to get started now. Before you turn off the video, because I'm obviously not the biggest, I'm not the strongest guy you've ever met yet. What I've done for this video is I've gone through multiple podcasts, multiple videos of dudes who are a lot smarter and a lot bigger than I am. And what I've done is I've taken their super scientific, super smart language and I've kind of dumbed it down for all of us. I've taken their advice on what they would give for beginners, and I've taken out what I think is most important, and I'm emphasizing what I wish I would have done when I was a 7th grader. And I was like, ooh, weights? You just throw these around, right? This is just to help you guys not go into the gym mindlessly, going like, what exercises should I do? Is that enough weight? I don't know. What do I do? I'm gonna leave, bye. Trying to avoid that. Hopefully you guys can go into the gym, be confident, maybe even set up your own program beforehand. That'd be awesome. Now finally, we can get to what this video is all about. So my first big topic for this video is training specificity. That's a big word, kind of fancy, but just let me break it down for you. So training specificity is all about having a specific goal in mind when you're going into the gym to train. The reason training specificity is so important is, let's say you have an athlete that wants to jump higher. You're not going to tell him to blow up his bench press as much as he can, because that makes no sense whatsoever. In this one, we're not really talking about athletics. We're talking about strength and size of muscles. And honestly, for either of those, if you are a true beginner, I would start you out on pure hypertrophy exercises. And what's that look like? So training for size, training for hypertrophy, people usually stay within the 8 to 12, 8 to 15 rep range. And as you get on to intermediate and expert level lifter, it's gonna be pretty intense. Even though, you're not doing heavy sets of 2 or 3, it's still pretty intense. Your muscles are gonna be pretty close to failure as an intermediate or expert lifter. But as a beginner, this is where the good news comes in. You guys have what we call newbie gains. Get into a little bro science, but that's okay. It's all good. So if this is truly one of the first times that you've picked up a weight, your body is going to adapt super quickly. Strength and size, it's crazy. Just like I said, 8 to 12, 8 to 15 reps. But again, for beginners, I would highly, highly recommend that you guys stay in the moderate intensity. So maybe you're not 2 reps close to failure. Maybe you're not even 3 or 4 reps close to failure. That's okay. We want to milk these newbie gains as much as we can. But why, Taylor? Why would I give moderate effort if I drove all the way to the gym? Why would I waste all that time? Wouldn't I get more results if I got closer to failure? First of all, not necessarily true. Second of all, as a beginner, you want to get your muscles, you want to get your tendons ready for those heavier loads, especially if you're going into strength training. Let's get right into that right now. So if you choose to go into strength training, once your newbie gains are starting to plateau a little bit, only for those of you that want to really emphasize strength exercises, only the ones that want to put more only the ones that want to put more weight on the bar will eventually work in your huge compound lifts like the bench press, squat, and deadlift. If you want to lift heavier, you're going to have to lift heavy. So that would be sets of 2 to 5, obviously much heavier than your loads for the 8 to 12, 8 to 15 rep zone. So to put that whole first topic together, no matter if you want to specifically put weight on the bar in the future or you're trying to gain size, I would start you out on the hypertrophy exercise. Because you have newbie gains, you're gonna get a lot of strength gains, you're gonna get a lot of size gains in the first couple of months that you start training. Your body's gonna adapt super fast, even to moderate intensity. Again, once your newbie gains plateau, you can start going closer and closer to failure. But as long as your newbie gains last, I'd stay 2 to 4 reps away from failure. And once you start going into strength exercises, you just have to increase the weight by a lot, decrease your reps per set by a lot, like 2 to 5 reps per set, maybe even some singles, and yeah, there you have it. Next, you want to make sure you're training all of your muscles, or at least you're not training the same muscles every single time you go into the gym. So, I think I mentioned in 7th grade when I started throwing around weights, I'm sure the first 5 to 6 months I started lifting, it was just bicep curls. Every time I had a workout session, it was bicep curls, bicep curls, bicep curls, bicep curls. Please don't do that. Just don't do that. Learn from my mistakes, especially all you young ones out there. Doing bicep curls alone will not make you look like Arnold. Your arms will get bigger, yes, newbie gains are still a thing, but do more than that. Look up exercises that train your legs, different parts of your legs, your hamstrings, your quads, your glutes. Definitely not gonna name every single exercise for every single muscle here, because that would be a bajillion hour-long episode. And also, with your training specificity, this kind of goes with it, it's kind of out of it. Keep your goals consistent. Don't go into the gym one week and say, oh yeah man, I want to get my chest super big. I want my pecs to pop like the Rocks or something. And then the very next session be like, oh wait, never mind. I think I want to start running marathons instead. And then next week say, oh wait, no, I want to get my bench press as big as it can be. I want to see how many plates I can fit on this bar. Don't do that. It's okay, especially as a beginner, to figure out what kind of exercises you like the best, but just make sure that you eventually find what you like and keep it consistent. Keep getting better at that. Because I think I definitely deal with this myself. We have all these different routes to go in the gym, and then we don't really get better at one thing, and we get discouraged, and we get burnt out, and then we stop going. So yeah, try to keep your goals consistent. And my next huge point is to make sure that you're practicing good technique. What is good technique? Isn't that subjective? Yes and no. So let's first talk about the importance of the eccentric phase. Especially in your hypertrophy exercises, you're gonna want a very slow eccentric. What's an eccentric phase? So think of a bicep curl again. Going up, you have your concentric phase. Going down is when you have your eccentric. That's what I need you to be going slow on. This is especially good for the people who are going for size. It trains more muscle fibers, and then it also builds into preparing the muscles and tendons for that heavier weight. So go slow on the way down. Actually, learning good technique now is more important than it ever will be, because it is a lot easier to learn a good technique now than it will be to fix a good technique later. And honestly, the last thing any of us need is for you to go into the gym, find the heaviest weights you can, start doing quarter reps, pushing as much weight as you can for as many reps as you can with just terrible technique. It's not nice to look at, and we want to stay away from injury as much as we can. Drop the ego and drop the weight. You'll be fine. You'll get to that weight eventually, probably, and everything will be okay. Good technique. Do it. So let's look at a program I would put together if I were going to the gym for the first time now. So as you can see, this is a push-pull leg split. I keep all the sets and reps to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps, and intensity stays within 2 to 4 reps in reserve. So basically 2 to 4 reps until failure. And as you can see, I put the target muscle groups just to show how many different muscles we're working, even with this pretty small amount of exercises. So if I was a true beginner, this is exactly what I'd want to go in and do right now. Moderate intensity, lots of different muscles, not a lot of frequency, so I'm only training the same muscle groups once per week, just to juice out those newbie gains as much as I can. So yeah, there you had it. Thank you guys, especially if you made it to this point in the video. I appreciate everyone that watches this. If there's anything I can do different, any way I can make this more exciting, subjects that you guys want to hear about, please let me know. I'd say this is probably the most informative video I've ever made. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully I don't get too much flack for it, although not many people are going to see this anyway. So thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.